जब ड्रॉप करूं बॉम्ब लगे जंग फिलिस्तीन नीना मीना टीका मेरे बिना जीना फीका पिया 16 पे सतीवा फिर मदीरा पीना सीखा बोलूं डाइट I'm a डीका बोलूं हाय मामा सीता looking fine I won't lie coming right through your speaker like knock knock who's there दरवाजे पे मैं खड़ा और ये रूठ गए.
Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're preparing for CUET and deciding to go into one of the top DU colleges, here we are. Today we have with us Ayushman Dubey, a student of Hansraj College, one of the most prestigious college of the University of Delhi. So thank you so much for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayushman Dubey. Currently I am a student of BA Honours History, pursuing it from Hansraj College. I'm in my third year of study. Apart from that, I am born and brought up in Varanasi and I completed my 10th and 12th from there, from Sunbeam School Levelup, which is in this.
Did you always want to get into Delhi University?
It all started probably in my class 10, right when I was, doing my pre-boards. So I had to think about which stream I want to take. So I was going through everything because I was equally good in all the subjects over there. So I was probably making my roadmaps for everything, and particularly a subject that interested me a lot during that time also, since it used to come under social sciences. So history was something that actually interested me a lot. So my inclination towards history probably led me to, create a roadmap for myself going forward. What can I do with humanities and what would be the better colleges all over India? Because I wanted to stay in India, so I had to see all the other colleges over there. So probably I thought that DU is the university that probably offers the best colleges across India for the undergraduate courses. So that's how it probably started for me.
Was there any point where you specifically started focusing on the Hansraj College? And again, how was the preparation strategy? Did you find it very challenging? And if you did find some challenge, how did you overcome it?
Firstly, coming on how I started to look at Hansraj. So I'll be very honest, when I was probably reaching towards the preparation time of CUT UG, back of the mind, I always had an idea that if I wanted to, I can easily breach the North Campus barrier, I was just surfing through all the colleges that were over there. So I used to make a list like, kaun se college ka what is good. So these things used to be done by me, and probably that's when I came across Hansraj College, and I rated it very highly, like among the same pedestal as the Stephens and Hindu and Hansraj. So I looked at all of them very equally, and I used to see like wherever I'll be able to make it, I'll be very happy to do so. Probably as I feel, given the syllabus of CUET UG, it's very much similar to the CBSE 12th board examination, right? I mean, all those who belong to the CBSE, they have an edge over it. I had a very fixed mindset in myself that I really do not need to ponder upon a lot of sources to study from. Since it's a Sarkari exam, as people call it, and the best Sarkari sources are the NCERT. Any Sarkari exam that is happening across nation, they'll use the most Sarkari source of knowledge, and that has to be the NCERT. You do not need to rely on anything over there in the market. So I just stuck to my NCRTs, and then probably during my 10th board preparation, I was at one point of time I was preparing my conceptual answers, but at the other hand, I was also giving a special focus on the pointers, or basically the factual things that were there in the subjects. So that also played a good role when it came down to the preparation of CUET later on.
So looking back, the most important thing which you are saying is that we need to focus a lot on our NCERT syllabus, which is a thing which you did consistently. And apart from that, I think if a student is not really good at general knowledge, so there was no scope of GT. Like, did you write the general test or not, and how was it like?
Yeah, so that is very interesting. First of all, I would like to tell what subjects did I appear for. So I appeared for English, since my aim was for DU, and English is very much mandatory over there. At least at that time it was. I guess it's still now. So English was the paper that I appeared for. Apart from that, my core humanities subjects, the political science, economics, history, and then I also opted for legal studies, and then I also appeared for general test. General test I appeared solely because, let's say if something catastrophic happens with me and I do not land in some good North Campus college, I might have a good backup in the form of BHU, which is again in my own city. But again, BHU was at the very second pedestal for me. I would want to easily break into the North Campus thing. So for the general test, something that played in my favor was I am particularly very good in quizzing. Over the course of my 10th, 11th and 12th, I have done a lot of quizzes. Like basically I have done less of classes, more of quiz competitions. I have played quizzes on the national level and international levels, and I have won a lot. So probably that was something which gave me an edge over everyone else that time, because I had a very, very, very strong base in my general knowledge. So I did not need to prepare anything extra for it. And apart from that, I only and only attempted some basic reasoning questions that were over there, and that was more than enough for me to breach the PHU barrier, right? So I was able to back up for myself over there.
Yeah, I would say that if someone is prepared, they have in their mind they have to write CVT exams, and they should just start reading newspapers since early on. However, even if they have not done and they are yet to write that exam, so GT is still not the mandatory criteria, right?
Yeah, I mean, in CUET's GT paper, general knowledge is just a section of the GT paper, right?
Okay.
There are other things like there are logical reasoning and some basic mathematics. All these things are there. But again, if you are able to do well in one of the sections, probably if you do some part good in the other parts, you can probably make up a good score for yourself and land in some good cutoff. So that's what I meant over here. But apart from that, if you can do well in all the other sections, it's perfect for
Yeah.
you. And as for the general knowledge, as I feel, general knowledge is something that you cannot cover in a single day. It's not a one-day match that you're going to
Yeah.
do, right? You have to have a good amount of practice over it, and you have to keep reading on. That's the main crux about general knowledge.
So now you're an experienced insider at Hansraj College. So what is something that exceeded your experience there? Like we all know it's a DU campus, a lot of exposure to so many activities. So can you tell us more about like Hansraj College? We want to know about Hansraj College.
It's a beautiful college. First of all, the campus is very, very beautiful. You might have seen the pictures. If you haven't, please do see because it's amazing to look at. The main building is very, very, very iconic. As you see, Stephens and Hindu and all the other branches, so is the Hansraj main building, right? The A block. Apart from that, I felt that Hansraj is very liberalizing in terms of how you can bring upon ECA as well as your academics hand in hand, right? You can pursue your ECA, like extracurricular activities, and then at the same time, you can also attend your classes. So there is a very good culture of extracurricular activities on the campus. Like any day and every day, you would see something or the other is going on in the seminar room, and someone might have been invited to give a lecture upon. So these things go a lot in the college. As for the exposure, as is DU's North Campus known for it, it's very vibrant. So is the case in Hansraj as well. So, and probably this is what I basically chose DU for. I wanted, as you all already know, that I was good in quizzing, probably way better in quizzing than my academics, although I did bag a decent merit in my CUETs and landed in a college. But apart from that, I was equally good in my ECS. So I was basically looking for a environment during my, UG days, wherein I can also do a better part in my EC apart from just studying and studying. So probably Hansraj and DU all over was a good place for me, I'll say.
Is there any myth around like Hansraj College which you'd like to break? It could be about the, I would say, attendance criteria as well. Like if there's any myth or fear among the student, okay, I don't want to join Hansraj College because of this, that.
One of the biggest myths that you said, I mean, you might have come across some notices wherein
Yeah.
parents were called in one of those years for attendance criteria. Honestly, I am from the 2023 to 26 batch. The parents were called in the 2023-24 academic session, right?
Oh,
And all through my 3 years, all through my 6 semesters, I have never crossed 66.67% in my attendance, right? In the first year, my highest percentage was 65 point something, and I escaped even calling my parents. Somehow or the other, I produced the extracurricular activity certificates that I had, and I escaped calling my parents over there. And apart from that, in the previous 2 years, I have never barely crossed 40% in my attendance, and still I was not barred for anything. So yeah, that's one myth that has been going around that, okay, they will call your parents if you're not completing your attendance, or you might get debarred, but I don't think so. It works that very hard on people.
if you like focus on the academic stuff, what would you say about the lecturers and the environment as in studies? Do they give you a lot of academic projects? How is the exposure when it comes to the lectures outside or the materials which you are assigned to read? How is the library? Like all of the academic stuff.
Starting from the lectures, I mean, it's worth the hype, of course. If you are breaching the cutoff barrier somehow, so it will be worth your time, right?
Yeah.
It will be definitely worth your efforts. But apart from that, I would like to mention one thing. Like, you guys are probably coming right from the school's arena, right? In school, you have teachers. Over here, you have professors. And one basic difference that I find between these two people are a teacher can actually spoon feed you a lot. They spoon feed a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't get anything, you can just go on and ask, okay, and they'll explain you 100 times. Over here, professors somehow or the other expect you to have a basic amount of reading done beforehand and then come to the class and then attend the
Yeah.
lectures. They don't pressurize you a lot, but as you go on, as you start to attend their lectures, you will yourself feel a need that you need to read certain readings that have been already suggested by the professors in order to grasp better during their lectures, during the real time lectures. Unless and until you read a little bit, you won't be able to make a lot of sense of whatever you have very hardly earned for yourself, right? So it's always a better habit to develop a sense of reading. It will help you better in your CUT days as well when you are preparing for your general test. And if you read a lot and a lot and a lot and develop a habit of reading constantly, that will also pay, leaps and bounds in your lecture days. The library is amazing. I mean, it's of like 2 floors, so there is ample of space to sit in over there. It's air conditioned, and you can just feel yourself home over there. You can. I have seen people who actually don't come to the classes, but they just stay in the library and just keep on studying for various competitive exams and all these things.
So, like, you've spent so much years in the Hansraj College. What is the most important memory or something which is your favorite experience so far, which you would like to share with us?
Actually, a lot of experience can be, umbrellaed under this particular thing, as I would like to say. So, serving as the president of my college's quiz society, that in the very last year of my
Okay.
course. So that was something I'll have in the back of my heart for a long time from now,
So
because I
that's something which you
actually
can flex about that, okay, you're the president of the quizzing club.
definitely, because
Yes.
again, as I told, that quizzing was something that I had done since my schooling days, and I'd done very well over there. So I always wanted to continue this passion of mine and probably serve in a better way to the college as well, and I was able to do.
So it's like if you could only give three pieces of advice to the students who are arriving for the top due colleges, what would they be? Like who are aiming for the top due colleges, just three pieces of advice which they must do for writing CVT or anything which you think is a non-negotiable for the students.
First of all, as for your CAT part, like getting into the DO part, I'll say just stick to your basics, right? I mean, what I have seen people do is sometimes they misjudge things. Sometimes they misjudge the requirement of the examination. They feel that syllabus is given to you and you need to read everything and anything that's available out there in the market. First of all, just don't waste your effort. Don't waste your money on a lot of things. Stick to the basic sources, right? You can just make sense of what I'm saying by thinking about even UPSC. Like in UPSC, people's Bible is NCRT. They also stick to the NCRT, right? So why do you need to really go on a lot of sources? So stick to your NCRTs. Just somehow or the other cover it end to end, and that will actually give you a perfect base for your CAT examination. Apart from that, for the examination, I'll say probably it's always better to be more and more exam ready, right? Exam readiness is not only about covering your syllabus. People always limit it to only covering your syllabus and your exam ready. No, it's not at all like that. You have to be ready according to the requirements of the examination. First of all, you need to know CUT is a CBT based test, right? It's a computer based test that's happening over there. A lot of time I've seen people who struggle with, managing the
Yeah.
computer and
Yeah.
cursor and all these things. Even if you have already known how to manage a computer and how to run a cursor over here and there, what happens is it's always different sitting back at home and attending some mock paper. And when you go over there in the examination hall, the pressure somehow or the other plays on your mind. And sometimes or the other, out of nowhere, subconsciously or unconsciously, you will just click
Yeah.
on something and you might remember something else later on when you check your answer key. And then you might get surprised, okay, I chose this wrong answer. And
Yeah,
how
yeah.
did it come it for? I mean, something like this actually happened with me in my economics CAT UG. I remember I scored 194 in my economics paper, just one question short of a 200 over there. I scored 200 in my legal studies and history, by the way.
Okay.
It could have been my third paper where I could have scored a 200. I did very good in my numericals. It was end-to-end perfect. In the Indian economics section, it was again perfect. I don't know. To this very day, I actually wonder how did this mistake happen. But I actually fumbled a question which was as easy as anything. And even right now, I keep on thinking that probably it was not me who attempted it wrong. Probably it was some cursor glitch or something like that. So things like these might happen on the spot. So it's always, better to be more and more exam ready. Just keep on attempting mocks online. Probably that will give you a examination simulation, as you say. Apart from that, the third advice, when you come to the college, The final and the main advice that I would like to give is ki, do not limit yourself. Do not ever limit yourself to something. Okay? Do not only and only limit yourself to ECA or extracurricular activities. Do not only and only limit yourself to, let's say, internship and other things. And do not only and only limit yourself to academics. Prepare a perfect blend for yourself. Do everything at once, because this is what college is actually about.
Yeah.
You have read a lot in your school days. Probably that is why you are over here in such a good college.
Okay, so closing lines, I think the three things which we have to focus on the exam, like the pretty basics of the exam where we have to focus on the NCRT syllabus. Secondly, practice, give mocks, try to give a CBT based paper, I think, then on the laptop so that you know how pressurized you feel, you can move your cursor along. And third is just that you have to be flexible with everything, don't bound yourself. Yeah, thank you so much, Ayushman, for sharing your journey and insights with us. Like, I'm sure your experience, strategies, and your advice will help thousands of aspirants who are actually working towards their dream college. So until next time, keep learning. Thank you so much.